Hello everyone, you might be surprised to hear my voice right now, but as most of you probably already know, it's not allowed to fly a drone over Giga Berlin anymore, so I have to stay outside the factory site and can't do my usual weekend flyover videos anymore. I do not want to make 2 time-lapse videos per week, and I also don't just want to do a normal video with music when I can't fly over the factory. So I thought, as I got many requests to do a voiceover, I will use this opportunity for a tour around the factory and talk about some of the recent changes. Please let me know if you like this kind of videos. I also want to say thank you to everyone supporting me on Patreon, because only with the money from Patreon I was able to buy a new drone so I can get a closer look at the details. Also thank you to Shop for Tesla for sponsoring this video. With the code TOBIASLINDH you will get 5% off and also support my channel. The link is in the video description. So as we approach the north end of the factory, we can see that the parking area for trucks is getting expanded right now, which is really needed because the area is always completely filled with trucks. Unfortunately, I didn't notice that when I was flying the drone, so I didn't zoom in on that. But let's try the zoom feature of the new drone to zoom in on the new small casting storage area. This is the area where they stored the front castings before. Now I can't see any front castings anymore, but a lot of rear castings are stored there now. If we look over to the left, near the green containers, we can see that they removed a tent that has been there for quite some time, and they are just loading the last beams on the trailer. I think this was part of the temporary wastewater site, which is not needed anymore as the wastewater treatment plant is in operation now. The green containers are the tanks where the water was stored. Now let's have a look at the stamping section, which is getting an expansion right now. Currently the stamping section has only one big stamping line. This expansion will add another 2 big stamping lines and 2 smaller lines, so they can work faster and integrate more production steps into the factory. Right now Tesla is getting pre-shaped metal sheets from a supplier, and after the expansion they will get the steel on coils and cut and shape them in-house. At the northeast corner they installed a stairwell and 2 floors now, which is not in the plans, so I don't know what will be on these floors. The first section of the roof has also been installed this week. Here's a closer look at the beams for the upper floor, and we can see that there's still some foundation work going on in the background. Near the crane in front of the stamping section there was a big steel part getting prepared for lifting. I don't know what it is and where it goes, but we will probably see that in one of the next videos. In the background we can see that the footings for the next columns are ready, but they are probably waiting for the foundation work for the presses to be finished before they place more columns there. south along the highway we can see that they've removed the remaining trees, so we can have a better look at the west side of the factory. The trees had to be removed because the highway will get a few more entry and exit lanes to properly connect the two highway junctions. On the roof we can see that they didn't place much more solar panels on the body shop yet, but the whole roof of General Assembly is covered with mounting points for solar panels. The structure on top of the lobby in the southwest corner of the factory is almost finished now. It is not clear what it is, but as Elon said in a tweet that the rave cave might be an indoor-outdoor rave space on the roof, I think it's pretty safe to assume that that's what it is. It just happened to be the end of the shift when I was flying the drone, so a lot of people were coming out of the factory and walking to the bus stop. As you can see, the bus stop is getting really busy during the shift changes. The parking lot is also still too small. When the second shift arrives and the first shift hasn't left yet, the employees park everywhere along the roads because there are no free parking spaces. As the road south of Giga Berlin is getting bigger, the highway junction is also getting expanded. There will be a second bridge for which they poured the concrete for the first foundation now. Along the highway junction you can also see that they are building up the ramp for the new bridge. On the other side of the highway we can see where the new road temporarily connects to the existing highway junction. Soon the traffic will be routed to the new northern part of the road, so they can start construction on the southern part of the road. The new section of the parking lot near the entrance road is getting paved now. When the new entrance road is finished, this road will be replaced by parking spots as well. The temporary high voltage cables have been removed some time ago, and now the temporary switch yard has also been removed. Now we have a look at the middle road. On the right side is one of the two distribution areas where the new cars are loaded onto the trucks. On the bottom left, under the pipe bridge, are the gates where the new cars exit the factory. Further to the east, between the new entrance of the parking lot and the future entrance road of the factory, there's an area where we don't know yet what will be built there, because the plans have changed in this area. Behind that area we can see the construction work for the new entrance road and the shuttle train station. Unfortunately, there's no activity at all at the shuttle train station, and I don't know why they don't continue the work there, but Tesla has already all the required permits for the construction of the shuttle train line. Behind the shuttle train station I've noticed a few red and blue Teslas, but they are probably from China because there are also some Model 3s and a Model X. Here we have a better view of the construction of the new entry road of the factory. It will go between the shuttle train station and the parking lot. Further to the east, on the other side of the road, there's a big infiltration basin, where they just finished up the area where the water exits the pipes. This is where all the water from the new road is collected and infiltrated into the groundwater. At the bridge ramp they started some earthworks on the south, and the road on the north side of the ramp is paved and connected to the existing road now. At the cell production building there are not many visible changes anymore, but they have removed the last temporary loading platform from the outside of the building now. This is an overview of all the current production buildings of Phase 1. It is not easy to get a good overview over the factory because most of the site is inside controlled airspace of the BER airport, so the maximum flight altitude for drones is 50 meters. The airspace ends in the east, so here I can go up to 120 meters. Zooming in, we can see the two tents of the fire station in front of the wastewater treatment plant. And right next to the wastewater treatment plant is the central utility building. Here we can see a new area getting prepared for pavement. I don't know what this area will be used for, but it doesn't look temporary, as it has proper curbs and is also connected to the rainwater drainage system. Next to the tanks of the sprinkler system, we can see the small casting storage area again. And from this side I also can't see any front castings here. On the other side of the road, to the right, we can see the temporary wastewater site again. Now we are approaching the big casting storage site, and there we can see a lot of front castings stored on pallets in the back. Even though the site got expanded recently, it is totally packed now. You can even see some castings stored in the background behind the 3 blue tanks. Moving the camera down, we can see the second vehicle distribution area. And I've noticed that the number of cars and trucks varies a lot with the time of the day, as most truck drivers pick up the cars early because they have to drive to their destination during the day. This footage was made at around 4 PM, so it's not very busy. As we pan the camera to the north over the expansion area for phase 2, where 2 more vehicle production buildings will be built, we can see the town of Greenheide at the lakes in the background. Panning further to the northeast of the site, we can see the trailer yard. The trailer yard is also too small already, so it's getting an expansion right now, as you can see on the right side and on the top, where they put a layer of gravel in preparation for the pavement. Further to the east we can see some more earthworks going on, but I don't know what will be built there. Thanks for watching, and please leave a like and a comment to this video if you want to see more of these videos. Bye!